Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm gonna talk about the Haven series finale, more specifically how I felt about it, some of my thoughts about certain things. And yes, I know that was like last month, but I wasn't doing videos at the time, and I'm like, heck, I want to talk about it a little. This will be spoilerish, so if you are interested in seeing Haven and don't want to get spoiled on the ending, don't watch this video. Watch the entirety of Haven. I mean, because like the first 5.5 seasons, or did I say 5? I mean, really, it's 4.5. I mean, because the first half of season 5, because like I said, season 5 was split into 2. The first half of season 5 is also on Netflix. So if you want to binge on like the first 4.5 seasons and then, you know, watch the season 5B, and then you can just come back and watch this video. Please come back and watch this video because I do want to discuss this a little bit. If you don't know, Haven finally came to an end. It was a 2-hour series finale, and overall, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say like, oh, a terrible, series finale. I don't think I've ever really come across a series that I was like dissatisfied, unless it's one of those series that was like, it was a series finale mainly because it was like no ending was really prepared. It was just like canceled, so it doesn't actually have a proper ending. Haven actually had a proper ending, and I talked about this in the video that they were talking about. The fact is that they wanted to, leave the story open a little bit, which to be like, just in case there was any possibility in the future for it to come back. To me, the ending was in a way where it's like, honestly, like, you don't need to like include anything. Like, I feel like all the stories told. I mean, I guess I can understand like if you want to talk about the other world a bit, the world William, Audrey, Croatoan, as well as Audrey's mom are from that world. Like, I guess if you want to go over it a little bit, but it's like the stories have all been there and they've been put into place. I was very satisfied with the ending. I won't lie, I was like trying everything to hold back the tears because of, and once again, spoilers, freaking Duke dying. I saw that coming a couple episodes ahead. I was like, yeah, because like at this time I'd been watching like Haven. I had rewatched like the beginnings of Haven like recently, like over the past like couple months, like prior to like the fifth season coming back. Like I had already watched like the first 3 seasons, and then I found out about the second half of season 5 comes. I was like, all right, so let me rush through it, especially because Netflix had added the 5th season as well. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch everything and get prepared for what was to come. But it was like, because that was something that was brought up in the earlier parts of the series that was never continuous. It was brought up every once in a while, and like because it kind of like in season 2's finale, like Nathan was pointing a gun at Duke because he thought like Duke had did something to Audrey, and Duke happens to see that Nathan has that tattoo, which you later on find out in season 3 is the guard tattoo. And he had learned earlier, like was it that season or season 1, that by someone with a future scene trouble that he would die by someone with that tattoo. So I knew that was going to happen, and I automatically knew, I was like, the person that's going to take him down is going to be Nathan, because like, even though they may hate each other, like they've always had a love-hate relationship, Duke is without a doubt his best friend. It's like, out of anybody, it has to be him that would end up doing it. I was like, I can't see anyone else being the one to do it. The circumstances around it weren't what I was expecting. I was thinking it was like, yo, Duke is still being, his, the weapon he would, like, that Croatoan had made him into, being what he was really supposed to be as a Crocker, a tool for collecting troubles for Croatoan. And I thought it was going to be in a moment like a fight, and in that fight Nathan was going to kill him. But no, Duke regained himself at the last moment, and the troubles start leaking out of him, and he's like, Croatoan's going to get these troubles, you have to kill me, and it has to be in a way that my blood doesn't drop on the floor. Everyone's like, no, we can't do this. And Duke turns his back, and Nathan like covers his mouth and his nose and just suffocates him. And it's just like him, and just like he's telling like Duke is like, you're the bravest person I know. Him and Audrey, there's like all 3 of them are together. It's like had to fight back the tears. And you see Duke kind of look at the tattoo, and he finally understood like this is the tattooed person that was going to kill him. Because earlier that episode, in that particular episode, I can't remember if it was part 1 or part 2. No, it was definitely part 1, because that's when Duke died. Like the son of that woman who had I think it was her son or nephew, who also shared her trouble to see the future, and brought that back up. So it's like definitely setting someone's like, yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Like I said, I knew it was coming just because it's like, I know this is the end, and I could see events lining up, and it's like, that's definitely how Duke's story was going to end, and that's sadly how it ended. Granted, like just because of how the whole situation ended, with basically Crow and Tolan being like, you know what, I'm going to fix everything. I'm gonna take the troubles away and everything, and you get to stay here. I won't try and force you to come back with me. I'll like kind of help with the new barn. That in a sense, it made me feel like it kind of made Duke's death irrelevant. You could look at it like it kind of made his death like irrelevant. He didn't have to die, but at the same time, it's like, well, and me, I rationalized like, no, because Duke did have to die, because by him dying, it put Croatoan in a position where he couldn't collect any more troubles because there weren't any more Crockers around. Duke was the last, and so it's like, with that the situation as it is, it backed him into a corner where he really didn't have a means of doing what he really wanted to do. I mean, he could proceed with his plans, but they wouldn't go through as effortlessly now that Duke was dead and he couldn't collect troubles like he needed to. I mean, granted, other circumstances like Nathan willing to sacrifice himself for Audrey, and you know, Croatoan realizing he himself, would he really be able to give up his life to protect his daughter? And he realized he loves his daughter, but maybe not nearly as much as Nathan loves her, you know. So, but then, you know, the situation is that they need something to like bond, like, you know, kind of the new barn and kind of Haven, to the point, like, I mean, that's not really how it worked, but it's like they had to draw like the troubles in, and they needed kind of like a conduit that kind of tie it together, and they needed like the love Audrey has for like Nathan. Like, it couldn't just be the power that Croatoan had collected. That wouldn't have been enough. So Audrey had to go into the barn too, and it meant saying goodbye forever. And then basically you skip to, what was it, about a month or two after the finale, after all the troubles were gone, which was like, to me, was like really badass, just like seeing everyone's troubles kind of leak out of their bodies. It's very interesting to see, to think about it like that, because, you know, truth be told, is all their troubles are aether, and I did forget about that. So it's really interesting to see all their troubles leak out as aether. It's like you'd always seen them as these intangible things, and to see them have like a physical form, like, even though I know that's how they made troubles, it still just didn't click on my brain. It's like, oh yeah, that's what their troubles look like inside of them, didn't it? Everyone's troubles. So that was kind of neat, seeing all the troubles look, you know, different people, a few people you'd seen across the series. You know, but it was really sad, you know, in its entirety. Like, it was sad. I mean, Duke died that episode, Audrey was gone, and it was also like Vince had, you know, become the controller for the new barn that was built, so he wasn't around anymore. David died a couple episodes ago trying to stop Croatoan, you know, especially his power to manipulate time, like steal time from you. And that's another thing. It's like, that's why I expected like Croatoan to be like killed. I expected to be some like long drawn out battle, but it kind of had more, I guess you could argue, it kind of had that lost feeling where it wasn't really like the ending you were expecting. It was more of an emotional ending, I guess you could say, a more emotional, maybe spiritual ending. But nevertheless, I still enjoy it. It still didn't take a, like, I expected a battle, but, you know, I'm fine with it ending the way it did, because it was like, you know, fighting wasn't always like the point of the show. It was always finding different solutions to dealing with the problems, to dealing with the troubles. But, you know, it had a very beautiful ending. You know, Haven's back to normal, and because the troubles were gone and everything, people remembered Haven. More specifically, you got the character Seth, who Duke had met, you know, like earlier parts in this season, you know, after he had left Haven. And you know, because no one outside of Haven knew about it except for Duke, because Duke wasn't affected by, you know, troubles, especially because these troubles came from him and whatnot. Dwight, who got his daughter back, which was like really sad, because I was like thinking, because when it was at the end, nearing the end, it was like his daughter was starting to fade away, and I was like, don't do this. Dwight's lost so much already. He already lost Charlotte, the woman he had fallen in love with, that he kind of wanted to spend his life with. Already lost her. Don't take away his daughter from him again. But in the end, he kept her, which I am curious about that whole Duke thing. Like I said, like Duke appearing in his mind. He's like, you're not the real Duke Crocker, because the real Duke Crocker was a bit of an asshole. And it's like that Duke in his mind kind of walked away. It did like that, but I was thinking he was about to give him a middle finger before he faded away. I don't know if that's true or not. I am curious about that, but at the same time, it's like, I'm fine with not knowing. But it was nice seeing Duke like one more time, you know, before the ending. And then at the very end of it, Nathan ends up meeting Audrey, but now she's come back as a different person, because she couldn't come back as Audrey Parker. And she has a little baby boy named James, And it's like, and Nathan's just lighting up because it's like the woman I love and my son, but they're back as different people. And I really like how they did it, because they did it as like a reminiscence of like their first actual meeting back in the first episode of season 1. Like, it's very reminiscent of that, you know, their conversation, like how she's got a broke down car and she closes the door on Nathan's fingers. I mean, the first episode he didn't feel it because of his trouble, but now his trouble's going, he felt it, and it just, you know, and it made him a little happy, because for one, it meant no trouble, but also it just meant, you know, it's just like, I don't know, it was beautiful. Like, they get the opportunity to fall in love all over again. So, especially because it's a little cheap, because he knows her already so well as Audrey, because no matter how much her personality's changed, there's always a bit of who she was inside, you know, that doesn't change. I know I've gone on very long-winded about it. It's just something I really wanted to talk about. Leave some comments down below. If you're a fan of Haven, let's talk about it. I wouldn't mind just talking about Haven. I want to tell me about some of your favorite episodes. We can go in real depth about this. Like I said, this is like a series finale video anyway, so it's like anyone that comes across this is gonna get spoiled anyway. So it's like I said ahead of time, like, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this video. I mean, watch this video after you've watched the entirety of the series, because it's a really good series. I'm sad that it ended, but it has such a good ending. I'm like happy about it. Like I said, it didn't go the way I was expecting it and slightly hoping, but I'm still satisfied with it nevertheless. So really, that's all I want to say in this video. Like I always says, next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.